you ever get worried about somebody being in your face? They're getting aggressive, and then all of a sudden hands start flying in, and you're like, oh my God, how am I gonna deal with this? Well, tonight we're gonna be looking at one kata from Koto Ryu, which is called Ura Nami, breaking waves or inside waves. We're gonna be using angular defensive movement, buying some space and time, disrupting them with shots to the upper body, shots to the lower body, and everything being behind some nice hips so you can generate power in what you're doing. Welcome to Class Notes, I'm Zach, let's hit it. So Ura Nami, inside waves, breaking waves. The idea with this is that we're using a lot of distance. He's gonna start off with this left attack. He's gonna be reaching in to hit. I'm gonna be dropping back. Bam, little shot to the bicep. Boom, little shot there. And we're trying to really have hip travel away defensively, and also hip travel in. We can have this nice sort of straightening on the leg, and then we have our weight carrying right through off that kick to hit right into somebody with a very direct line. We're gonna be going through some variations. What happens if?
So I might not be in a situation where I'm super prepared and I know that this attack is happening and I have all of the time in the world to make these big, deep posture moves. So I'm going to be a little more oh crap-ish, and I'm in tight. So because I'm shorter, I really like these knees. So we're gonna do a knee into the groin or into the stomach, and it still leaves us his face to strike. Oh crap, a knee, face strike.
There you go.
Any questions?
Love it.
So when we work with this stuff, when we actually take it, start saying, okay, how are we gonna modify this to be a little bit more modern, realistic? Well, we're going to try to be direct. We're going to try to be technically very angular. We're going to try to have very good alignment on our strike. I'm not necessarily kind of just ready to fight Mr. Prince. We're not just kind of hanging here, ready to go. He might be aggressive, but I'm just kind of getting hands up. My right side's kind of forward already, and he's going to launch a left jab right at me. Pop. And if I don't move, good, I'm getting hit. That's what I want. So as he comes in, whoa. Just back up. You'll notice we're not as big and wide and low as we were, but we are still lowering our body. We are still taking an angle. There's that little bit of off balancing that's happening there, which gives me a little time back. He comes in with his left hand. Same thing, whoa. I love the exposure on this leg. And all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna step across it, and I'm gonna be try to be gentle with this, but it's meant to be very disruptive. I'm gonna step across, I'm gonna swing my leg through it. Bam! The idea being that we get a really vicious hit on that leg. After we take that leg, we're gonna come in with the left cross. You'll see, kind of like earlier with that stomp, now this thing's kind of falling forward. My right leg is in front, my left hand's gonna hit.
So first one comes in, we're going to come out, second one comes in, and we're going to end up just a little bit too close. Another fun option is to lift out that way, and we end up in a beautiful position where at the moment we're just concentrating on strikes, so we're just going to come in with a strike or two, or we can finish off with that one. We can do what we like. So as another equally sized person, but they're different from the different way, we're going to enter the same way here. And now it's really easy to lift from here. But where can we go after? So just swing through this. I've got the range. This is nothing for me. As you see,
Since you're both the same size.
Because we're both the same size. And the knee right now is kind of compromised down here. And we can just break this down, just walk away. So again, that's inside. We're just going to do exactly as we did before. I've got this set up, lift, and I'm just going to go with it. As a smaller person, you just probably won't have the reach to do that on a large person, but we've got different sizes here. So the larger person, try that on the shorter one, and the shorter person, go for an extension.
So if he's coming in with these punches, I have doubts, as I was telling Lynn, that my size is going to be able to lift his leg and sweep through. If his balance is such, I might be off, but I'm furious. So I end up taking this knee because I'm already short and low, directly into this inner above his knee spot. I'm not sure what that's called. And I will almost make it a strike. I will strike and walk through.
Are you in a bad position right now?
Well, this is most likely what's going to happen next. So I'm either going to go away from it, kind of like what we did before, depending on what happens with his balance. You can use these elbows if this punch does come.
Cross one. Okay. I'm pivoting. I'm shifting my hip, but it doesn't really have much penetration. Play with two things to get the feeling of this. Thing number one, I'm going to plant my feet. I'm going to be within a left hand's reach of this. And I'm just going to turn and throw across. Okay, I can kind of hit my partner. I can disrupt them a little bit. Or I can move and shift and turn. And now I have a lot more disruption. And I'm going to move my body forward and shift as I throw that as well. And see how much more disruptive that can be when you're moving your body in with this stuff. When we're working on striking, there's accuracy, there is alignment, there's angle, there's position. And then there's also taijutsu and body movement, weight management through somebody. These kata, these shouldn't look the same every time. This should be different. You do have to modify for these things. There's lots of stuff that can happen here. I have Mr. Pratt. And hey, you know what? When you're playing with this, when you're working on this stuff on your own, sometimes working on creative demos, it's important to be able to play with stuff and recognizing the difference between this position, this position, this position, this position, different strikes. If I'm close, hey, maybe it's knees. If I'm really far away and I have a lot of distance, hey man, maybe we're dealing with kicks, like a little toe drive or a lifting kick to the groin. You've been doing kickboxing for too many months in a row, so you're stepping out, you're taking legs. That's something you like to do. Gosh, I don't know anyone who's like that. Maybe the kick is just a little distraction. So I see sometimes people kind of get tied up in here and they kind of move this around and they're like, well, crap, what do I do? Well, we have the rest of the Kihon Happo. We have Musadori. If we happen to have a wrist, maybe, hey, cool, we got Ganseki Nage. He decides to, I saw an interesting variant being worked on over there where the punch was coming in and whoa, we were kind of coming out. Maybe we have a shot there. All sorts of things can happen. But I think this kata is good for looking at alignment, for using angle and disruption to buy time, mixing high-low attacks to get somebody a little off balance. Very hard for them to keep punching when you're hitting them in the legs and groin. Kind of hard to do. But one of my favorite things about this, we've talked about it a little bit, is that movement of your mass through your shot and recognizing that, like, if you're close, you can do it with your elbow, you can do it with your knee. You can do it with a round kick. You can do it with a cross. It's all there.